1 versus 3. The game is tied 11-11. Your toxic Instalock Jet is already typing GG in the chat. The odds are stacked against you. Do you think you have what it takes to clutch up and win your team the round? Well, believe it or not, every round is always winnable. Today on SkillCapped, we're going to talk about how you can clutch almost impossible situations. If you've been playing Valorant for a while, I'm sure you've had your fair share of clutches. And if you've watched professional play, you'll know that there is no better feeling than clutching up a round and having your teammates yelling, "Let's go!" or "Nice!" or "Oh my gosh, you're the best!" and things like that.
Jump to the right, you go first, okay?
Okay, going.
It feels pretty good. So today on SkillCapped, we're going to break down clutches, the agents that are usually doing the clutching, and how you should play out these unlikely scenarios. So to begin, first let's talk about agents that you'll want to be playing. Okay, so this is going to sound kind of obvious, but the agents that are going to clutch the most are going to be the ones that are alive last. So now you're probably saying something like, well, duh, of course, Teets, everyone knows that. Well, what's funny is that most of the time in my ranked games, the duelists are the last ones alive. And if that sounds like you, then I'm sorry to say that you're probably playing your role incorrectly. Other agents like controllers like Brimstone, Omen, or Viper, or sentinels like Killjoy, or initiators like Sova, or any other non-duelist agent basically, are built for the post plant. They can keep important areas like Heaven or CT smoked off, they can use flashes and mollies to disrupt the enemy's retake. Just think about it. Say for example you just planted the bomb on Haven. Who would you rather have alive? Your Jet? Or maybe your Killjoy who can throw her molly CT and delay the enemy from coming onto site. As a duelist, you should be using your abilities like jet dashes and ray satchels to create space for your team. Without you, your team is going to have a lot harder time taking the site. So do you sort of see why duelists shouldn't usually be the last one alive? As Jet or Reyna, you're going to have a really hard time holding the post plant by yourself unless you get really lucky and land your shots, which isn't always easy. It's a bit different though if you get the space for your team and you just end up being the last one alive during a post plant scenario. Then it is your time to clutch. So before we get into the rest of the breakdown, I just want to say that if you're looking for guides for other parts of the game like running defaults or performing executes, we have those as well as SkillCapped. We have Smurf commentaries where Radiant level players talk you through their games and show you how to clutch up in a variety of situations. Or maybe if you wanted to learn how to play a certain map, a specific agent, or just want to get better, we can help you with that too. We also have a rank improvement guarantee so that if you don't see your rank improving, you'll get your money back. But there's literally so much value here, I find it hard to believe that you won't improve. If you're looking for the fastest way to climb in Valorant, be sure to check out SkillCapped.com, link in the description below. Okay, so the hard truth about clutches is that they do require a bit of luck, but that doesn't mean that you can't lean that luck in your favor. This again might sound obvious, but in order to win a 1 versus 3 for example, you need to kill everyone one at a time, basically taking multiple 1 versus 1s, not a 1 versus 3. Agents like Cypher, Sova, or Skye might be better at this than others as they can gather information as to where players could possibly be. You can use your camera, your drone, your dart, your bird, your dog, basically anything to find out where players could or may not be. Once you have a general idea of where they are, you need to slowly peek each possible angle individually, and hopefully someone is feeling greedy and peeking back at you. And that's your chance to take that 1 versus 1 I talked about earlier. Peeking individual angles is arguably the most important part of clutching. So how do you do it? When peeking an angle, one common problem that I see with most players in lower ranks is that when they go to clear an angle, they are slow walking into it. The problem with this is that if you're trying to kill somebody peeking you, they will always kill you first. Think about it, you're slowly walking into somebody's crosshair. Like, unless they're asleep or picking their nose or like just AFK, they're definitely going to kill you first. In order to clear these angles, you want to use your A and D key the most, and try to avoid using your W key as it makes you more inaccurate and it's hard to stop going forward as it is to stop going from right or left. All you have to do is let go of either key and you should be fine. Some people press the opposite key, and this is something called counter strafing, which isn't necessary, but you could try doing it. Now, this isn't a guide about counter strafing. There's millions out there, but if you need one, we have plenty on the channel, and I highly recommend you watch those before watching the rest of this video. And if you're looking that up, you might want to look up our crosshair placement guide as well. So now that you have a general understanding of how to peek each individual angle, I'd like to talk about how to avoid getting clutched on. I'm sure we've all been in that situation where it's a 1 versus 4 and your team can literally see the bomb from where you're standing, but your stat padding duelists choose to go run at the enemy, hoping to add an extra kill to their stats. All they're doing is just trying to toss the round away. It's a bit different if the last guy has an operator or a gun and you guys have a ton of money and they don't, then yeah, you probably want to hunt them down and try to hurt their economy so they can't buy again the next round. But this isn't always the case. When you have the man advantage, it is up to the enemy to peek out and try to find a kill, not you. You playing in an aggressive position or by yourself makes their job a million times easier. Just think about it. It's a 5 versus 4. Your team has 5. Why would you want to go run at the enemy team? If you die, you just cost your team a big advantage and you're throwing the game. Just play with your team, set up crossfires, trade, and the round is basically unlosable. It's literally impossible to kill both of you here in this situation. Okay, so now you have a pretty decent understanding on how to do all of these things. So let's take a look at some examples. For our first clip, we're going to watch King from Business Strikers, one of the best teams in the world who started off not dropping a single series against anyone. They were 100-0 at one point. So we're on Haven, and the bomb has been dropped on C's site. With almost no time to do anything, ideally you'd like a person watching the flank, and another waiting for the enemy to push C long. Because with this little time on the clock, the only way he wins is if he kills you or miraculously gets the bomb planted. For some reason, Omen is caught peeking, and King punishes him for that by landing a nice shot on him. He fakes the plant. This is important because you need 4 seconds to plant the bomb. The enemy team knows this, and their comms probably sound something like, he has to plant, peek him, we'll peek him, we'll get him off the bomb, we'll get him off the plant. King uses this to his advantage and gets both of them to swing him. Lucky for him, Breach isn't in a good spot to trade his teammate, and he has to fall off the ledge, reducing his accuracy immensely. King ends up getting a dirty spray transfer and kills them both, and wins them the round. Now what he did wasn't easy, and no clutch should be, and they're all impressive in their own right. For our next clip, we have everybody's favorite clutch master, and that's Hiko. In this game, in order to clutch up here, Hiko needs to isolate the 3 remaining players. Jett is already isolated, so that part's pretty easy. Hiko has amazing crosshair placement and kills the Jett. Eventually, he makes his way over to the A site and tries to plant. Now when he's peeking in a garden, look at the spacing between the two. It isn't the best, as Phoenix is completely exposed to anyone peeking from site into garden, and Sova doesn't trade him out nearly fast enough. Like in our previous clip, faking the bomb plant is a great way to force a 1v1 against somebody. When the bomb is being planted, as a defender, it allows you to locate where exactly the planter is. It makes your job easier versus you just letting him plant and go hide somewhere. Hiko does a great job of managing his time, baits out the Sova, again has amazing crosshair placement, and clutches up the round for 100 Thieves. For our next clip, we have Arena going up against 3 enemies with full rifles, and all she has is a deagle. Okay, so I'm going to pause real quick and explain why Reynas and Jetts are, you shouldn't 1v1 them. It's just a really bad idea. They're just so strong because they have abilities that can deny trades. After they kill somebody, Reyna can dismiss away, or Jett can dash away. Especially against a Reyna, she can heal back to full and deny any damage that she received from a 1v1. Reyna's kit is literally built to take 1v1s, so if you're throwing like this raises, then the round isn't going to be so great. Yes, she's on a Hiko, but there's still that small chance that she could win the round and land her shots. If you want to make sure that there is 0 chance that Reyna can clutch, you shouldn't be peeking from elbow. And perhaps let your other teammates, who are in much better spots, trade off each other. Notice how positioning is really big in this clip. Had Raze played towards backside deep in that corner, it'd be impossible for Reyna to kill everyone one at a time. But instead, Raze is peeking on her own, and the last 2 players mistime their peeks and ultimately lose the round. But, as everybody says in the ranked games, when somebody throws a round or when a team throws, unlucky really. Now for our last example. I pulled a clip from a diamond game, and you guys can learn something from this. Notice how Omen is in a 1 versus 3. As soon as he plants the bomb, he pushes up to find kills. When you're down a man, there's no way you're winning the round by hiding back sight, hoping nobody checks you. You need to push out, find some kills, and try to even things out. And this doesn't just go for a 1v3, this goes for anything, a 2v3, a 3v4, a 4v5, you need to kill a guy. He catches the Jett off guard, whiffs, but repositions so he can kill her when she gets greedy. Sova is running out of B main like an ape and making a bunch of noise, so he makes himself an easy kill. And lastly, the Sage gets onto site. Omen sprays at her and banks on her faking the defuse. This is sort of what Hiko was doing earlier, but our Omen called her bluff. He just shot at her. Odds are that she isn't sticking. She's trying to get Omen to peek back at her. And these are the type of mind games you need to get used to when playing in these clutch situations. In the end, Omen whiffs, but had he not whiffed, he would have played this out perfectly. All in all, it was a really good attempt by our Omen here. Now, this was just one of our in-depth guides that we have on our website. We actually have tons of Radiant Smurf commentaries where we have Radiant players walk you through exactly how to clutch impossible rounds during a live game, and they're super helpful to see in real time what goes through a top tier player's head. These players clutch all the time. As we mentioned before, it's also backed by a rank improvement guarantee, and the reason we do that is because we are just that confident that our service works. And if it doesn't work, you shouldn't pay. So what are you waiting for? You've got nothing to lose. Head on over to SkillCapped.com and get started on your way to that rank that you deserve. So I hope you guys understand how you can clutch a bit better now and avoid getting clutched on. I don't know about you, but I spam my friends' discords of all my clutches, and it's such a great feeling when they hype you up. And speaking of Discord, if you want to join SkillCapped, the link's in the description below. But as always, if you guys enjoyed the video, be sure to drop a like and subscribe to the channel down below. It really does help us out. And that's all for us. I'm Teets, and we here at SkillCapped want to thank you all for watching,